Okay, so we are live now. Hello to my very prestigious guest, Miguel Lennes Fernandez from Portugal. Portugal, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you for having me here. It is a pleasure to talk about artificial intelligence. I'm doing this like every day, and I really love to talk about it. Thank you very much.
That's amazing. Okay, so initially, I would like to tell you and the people what Pro AI Think Tank is, and then we will continue towards your topic. So basically, Pro AI Think Tank is a global AI community. We are basically bridging the gap between all the AI experts towards like all around the globe, right? We are taking on board to all the AI experts from each and every country so they can exchange their ideas, what they are doing, so they can give the awareness sessions about their countries, their innovations, and all. So I would like you to introduce yourself, and then we will move on towards your topic.
Great. So I'm from Brazil, from Rio. I'm
Mm-hmm.
living in Lisbon the last 5 years. I'm working with I'm a software engineer, like as a university, etc. I worked on financial markets for several years, until 2011 when I started to work with startups. Um, and with AI in 2015, when I created one of these startups that I was working on. I created a company to basically hire and manage tech teams for American startups in Brazil. Right. That was
Mm-hmm.
when I left financial markets. That's how I started my entrepreneurial journey. And during this consultancy job, I realized that it will be more scalable if I actually build my own startups and not just as a service, like build teams for others, but build teams for startups that I own. And also I realized that I am much more uh, like a teacher, like a educator than a developer, basically, because when you are creating teams, you are
Mm-hmm.
basically teaching how people should work. And my teams were composed mainly by junior developers or people that wants to start a new career in a lawyer or a financial analyst or a HR person or whatever, that are jumping in a new career, just finished some kind of boot camp or something like that. So it's the first job of the majority of the teams that I created. Um, and I met my partner, actually my partner, and we created a company to be like the Netflix for corporate education in Brazil. So it's uh, something very similar to Netflix, but instead of Breaking Bad, Friends, or other series like that, we produce documentaries about agile methodology, sustainability, artificial intelligence, and all these subjects that are important to big business in Brazil. We had a interesting growth, especially during the pandemic. And the beginning of this year, we sold the company to a big media company in Brazil, and it was amazing. It was an exit, and it was a really happy experience, like to create a company from zero and sell the company to another bigger company. And it was happening in the middle of this generative AI boom. So my company was acquired, and I
Mm-hmm.
after that was talking with my new boss, the CEO of the company that acquired my company, and just saying that, okay, now we have this AI thing, ChatGPT is unbelievable. We should invest in this. We should really create a department of AI in the organization. I can bring this to all the departments that we have here: marketing, the journalists, customer service, HR, everyone. It's simple. It's something that will really be the thing this year. So I became the chief AI officer of the company. We created the first Brazilian MBA course about AI for business people. It was a huge success. Uh, we have more than 5,000 students, Brazilian students, um, and I'm the coordinator of the program. And I'm talking with companies, mainly from Brazil and also Portugal, where I'm living, about how they can use AI in the operation to grow the revenue, reduce the costs, make people work, do more things while working the same time, the same amount of time, or even less time, depending on the career. And that's my life right now.
That's totally awesome. I would love to see your course which you have taught to your students. That would be amazing for me as well. We will share with our audience too.
Yeah, you can. It's the course is in Portuguese. You can
Mm-hmm.
access the course in the Exame website,
Mm-hmm.
exame.com,
Yeah.
and you can see on this website the courses.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so our today's topic is artificial intelligence and its future impact. So I have some questions for you, and I hope you can give the answers in a very productive way because you are the expert of that exactly. So, how do you foresee the integration of artificial intelligence impacting the workforce across various industries in the next decade?
Across various industries you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Um, it's similar to what happened when the computers arrived in the offices. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that will be useful for a specific job. It will transform all the jobs. So we still have accountants, we still have lawyers, we still have doctors, all the professions are still there, even after the computers arrived. But the job
Yeah.
changed. Okay. Um, and that's a new way of interact with the machines. For example, if you are creating a PowerPoint, you have to drag and drop things to the screen and organize things and type in the keyboard what will be the end result. And what is happening, it's we are becoming more like programmers in the way that we interact with the machine. So I don't need to drag and drop things to create a presentation. I just ask the computer, do a presentation about AI using two images and one big phrase about it, and they will create this slide for me, and I can edit this slide. So it's different, and I can say that with my voice or with regular language. So it's the prompt, the prompt. It's the way that we will be more and more and more using to interact with the machine. I think that transformation will be around for the next years, and people will need to learn how to do this, how to communicate with the machine in a better way.
Yeah, instead of that they are afraid of that it will be a dangerous for the people or it will eat the job of the people actually. Like the people have the misconception about it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. The only when the computers arrived, there is one job. The computer is a job, basically. The job of the person that write what is in the paper in the machine. They
Mhm.
compute things. They just uh, get the data from one place and put it in another place, and the computer replaced that. We don't need more human computers, because we have the
Mm.
artificial computers. So this job ended. Okay, no more humans just saving entries in one place to other place. We have the computers to do that. Um, Actually, we still have persons that get pieces of paper. I know because I sometimes I'm visiting companies and I'm seeing people looking papers in the table and writing things in the computer. So they are getting something on the paper and writing on the computer. This is still happen, right?
Yeah,
But
the meeting
this is
minutes,
not
you
a
can
job.
say that.
This is not a job anymore. So the person has another job and the person is doing that. So that's my opinion. I think that the jobs will still be there, but you will have to execute your tasks in a different way. That's it. And this is a cliche. I don't like this phrase, but AI will not take your job, but someone that knows how to use AI probably will. If you not using it, it's like when the computers were entering the market and you decided to not use it. No, I will not use computers in my company. Computers are evil. Computers are something that will replace jobs. I will not use computers. What will happen with your company? The same.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
insane.
it is the same thing right now.
Hmm, that makes sense. Okay, it's a very common question and a very simple question, but I would like to know your opinion on that because everyone has their different opinion. What exactly artificial intelligence is for you?
Okay, when I'm giving speeches about it, I like to tell history, a history of John Alva Fisher. He's an industrial worker in United States, and he invented the washing machine. This amazing machine that is in almost every house on the planet today. I love my washing machine. It's something very important in my life, actually. And he was watching his wife hundreds of years ago in close to the river washing the clothes manually. Like every
Mm-hmm.
weekend he was just looking at it, and she started to become hangry, sad with that. "Oh, come on, John, you are just washing me. What are you doing? You can help me." What she doesn't know didn't know is that he was thinking in a way that he can create a machine that will imitate the intelligence of his wife while washing the clothes. So he realized that she was doing the same movements, like the same repeated movements, and then he conceived a machine that just like doing something like that, a wheel, just flying a wheel. You will be able to replicate the intelligence of his wife washing the clothes. So artificial intelligence is when the machine start to do something that only humans was doing before. When the machine replicates the intelligence, a specific intelligence, kind of intelligence that the human have, and now another human, usually an engineer, uh,
Mm-hmm.
put it on the machine to replicate that. So this is an analogy, a representation of artificial intelligence that I think it's useful to build the concept. This is artificial intelligence like in a whole spectrum.
Hmm. But what do you think? Like artificial intelligence, definitely it's not a human, right? So there is a little bit difference between the AI and a human, and that are the emotions.
Mm.
So as we heard about that, that in future the decision makers will be the AI. So do you think that the emotions can also they can also understand the emotions of the human and they can take the decisions accordingly?
Uh, I think that everything that a machine can do was because some human in some place did before, right? So we can explain what's happening inside the machine. We can look the code and explain what is going on. It's something predictable. It's something deterministic. It's something there, and we don't know humans don't know how to explain sentiments, how love is formed in my brain, how can I create sadness in my brain. What are
Mm-hmm.
the ingredients? What neurons I need to activate to do that? We don't know. We don't have no idea about it. We know how our brain, how our automatic movements happen when you kick your knees and you do something. When a big noise happen, you have a involuntary. We know that, but we don't know how sentiments work in our brains. So how the machine will know if the machine needs us to input that information there? It's not something that came from nothing. Everything that the
Mm-hmm.
machine knows is it was digitally, it's digital, it's on the screen, it's on a database. How can we express love in a database? How? It's, I don't know. I as a technical person, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to answer that question. So it's very strange to me when I see people saying, okay, so the machine will have sentiments. I don't know even the reason for that. Why I put sentiments on the machine? Why my wash machine needs to feel something? I don't want that. It's hard with humans. I don't want to my machines with sentiments. I don't want that. So my point of view about it
You
is
just want to feed the data, and so they can
exactly.
predict accordingly.
I want specific machines to do specific things. So my washing machine is to washing my clothes, and that's all. My computer is something that I use to communicate with other humans. Uh, I used
Hmm.
to uh, grow my mind, read things, create things. I don't want to apologize if I don't know, my phone goes to the floor. I need to apologize with my phone because he will be angry with me. Come on, no. Uh, uh, so it is strange to me, this idea of putting emotions in the machine. I don't get. I don't get why should we do that?
Yeah,
We have
that's totally
humans.
makes
The
sense.
humans have sentiments. We don't need more entities with sentiments in the world.
Hmm.
It's too
That
complex.
totally
This
makes
is too
sense.
complex.
It is, because definitely if there are some sentiments, then a professional person even cannot take a better decision. Sometime it happens for the
Yes, exactly,
organization.
exactly.
Okay, so tell me that there are some applications definitely related to the AI, and how can you explain this? That if the application or a software is asking about the access of your data, so how much the AI can have that privacy, or is our data is secure by the application, or
Um, I think I lost you, but I think I get the question, so I will start to answer. All the data that you put on social networks, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, Facebook, is being used right now to train AI models. So there is no privacy around the data that you put in social networks.
yeah,
Okay, now
sorry
you're
for,
back.
yeah, I'm back actually. Some internet
So,
connection issues.
yeah,
Yeah. So did
I
you get
was
my
saying
point?
I was saying that this privacy concern is
Mm.
not something new. Every data that you put in social media is not owned by you anymore. It's owned by the platform. So that's why Meta is able to create an AI model that basically learned it from all the content that we were providing to the platform during the last 20 years. That's how OpenAI trained their model. That's how Twitter X now is trained their model. So in terms of privacy, we the new concerns about privacy is when, for example, you have your bank okay, using your data with AI to decide how much, if they will give you or not, a loan, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the data, historical data, shows that people that was born or that live in a specific area usually don't pay his loans, you will not be able to get the loan, and this is not exactly fair or true, because it's just a represent can be just a representation of preconceived, like a social problem in the area, for example, that will be um, even worse, because this it's just a way to replicate some unfair situation in the economy. Oh, so in that terms, I think that we need some rules, some boundaries in a way that we will use AI to decide these kind of things. Or, for example, if you are in a criminal sector, for example, there's a software called Predpol, like predictive police, basically, and
Mm-hmm.
they the idea is to predict the crimes. So the software predicts who will commit a crime and when. But they are doing that using data with bias also. So you will arrest the person because the software is telling you that he could commit a crime. It's We are just almost creating a minority report scene, right? So we need rules and transparency in a way that we will use AI in that use cases. Or, for example, if we are talking about autonomous weapons,
Mm-hmm.
so I have a drone that I can prompt something. Okay, go to that city and shoot everyone, like in a just prompt that, and the invincible machine, invincible flying machine will be going to a city, and with face recognition. And so it is, it's like nuclear. It's a nuclear problem. It's a nuclear, like, the solution is similar to what we did with nuclear weapons. It's not possible. We cannot put this in the hands of everyone. This kind of technology, um, in the hands of everyone. So this is my main concerns when we start to speak about uh, ethics, privacy, and social concerns about AI.
And that makes sense. But I have one question. Let's suppose if any country is creating any kind of AI application, right? And another country or the people of another country are using that application, and definitely they are providing the information to that application, and that application is giving the response
Yes.
back. So don't you think that the country who created that application can have the data and they can misuse the data, and generally we are not they are not asking from us for any kind of access. We are basically giving our data or asking a lot of questions from that, and we are talking with that application. So what do you think on this situation?
I think you are completely right. We don't have open AI in China. We don't have open AI in
Yeah.
Russia. And at the same time, we don't have the Chinese version of ChatGPT in United States. There's a reason for that. From our country, for example, Brazil, we are always consuming this kind of stuffs from other countries. That's the approach that we did with social media, with internet platforms, etc. It was not the approach of China, of Russia. There are different social networks there. There are different local solutions that they built there. So the data is there. Um, so this is a concern that I have about Brazil. For example, Brazil has the biggest database of health information in the world, because we
Mhm.
have a lot of diversity in genetic terms, in social terms, a very big country. We will give this gold to the companies outside Brazil, so they will train their models and sell to us again, like we did in the social networks, like we did in other moments of the technology development. I hope not, but this is a big concern. You're totally right. This is a weapon. It is a power. We are talking about power. AI means power. The
Power.
country that owns AI will owns everything, and that's why Europe are so scared with that. How this AI thing will enter Europe? It will not just get our data, and that's all. We create laws, and you will need to put your data warehouses here in Europe. You need to pay a lot of taxes. You need to tell your clients what they are doing with the data that you are getting from them. So this is a geopolitical situation, the geopolitical
It is, it
power.
is.
Yeah, totally agree.
Because you
I don't
never
know the
know, like,
answer.
who is
I'm not a
buying your
politician,
data.
but this
Sorry?
is the answer.
Okay.
I'm not a politician that will have the answer for that problem. But I know that the problem exists, and I'm how to say, I'm very disappointed in a way that I'm seeing this discussion in Brazil and here in Portugal as well. I think that we are again doing the same thing that we did with social network boom. And
Yeah.
probably in some years we have a documentary like the social dilemma, talking about the problems that social networks bring to the society, but as the AI dilemma or something like that, because we didn't find the solution before the problem was too big to handle. Yeah.
Yeah, because we never know who is buying the data and who is selling the data.
Yes, exactly. And for what purposes?
Yeah, exactly. For what purposes?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to conclude one by one by having your suggestions to the people who are looking at us and later on who will look to this podcast. That for especially, I have like two to three main questions. Like a suggestion. What would you suggest to the students that which are the languages or which are the courses they should learn, they should do to learn more about AI? Because the world is moving so fast. We are evolving day by day.
Yeah.
So what would you suggest to the students? So first question would be this one. What would you suggest to the students regarding that?
Well, my main suggestion right now, in the easy, and if you are, is and if you have access to ChatGPT, it's free, and it's the best starting point to learn about AI. So go to openai.com, click try ChatGPT, and ask how can I learn AI, and have a 1 hour conversation about it with ChatGPT. This is the first thing, and then you will start to have more ideas about what you can do with that kind of technology. ChatGPT is like the iPhone of AI. It's the first generative AI mainstream product. We will have more things like ChatGPT in the future. So if you learn how to use ChatGPT, you will be learning how to use the new tools that will be arriving in the next years.
Okay. So there are some languages like Python, machine learning. So
Okay.
which language you would prefer to them as well? Because previously they were learning that this like R programming and XYZ. So now what would you suggest to them?
Okay. So until the beginning of this year, we have this data science professional that usually works with R, with MATLAB, with the data, with processing data. basically, and trying to create models to predict things. For example, if I have a spreadsheet with all the things that I acquired in the last 20 months, then you can predict what will be the next thing that I will want to buy. Right? Is a prediction. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
with the generative AI, you started to have a new kind of industry. It's not just prediction. It's you can generate new things, basically. So you can use AI as an infrastructure to create new products. And the main language to create new products, programming language, if you are going to a technology career, specifically, Python, I think is the most use cases, Python. And you can use ChatGPT to learn Python as well, because when ChatGPT generates code for analyze your
Mm-hmm.
data, for example, the code is generated in Python. So you can see they generate the software generating the code, and you can learn what the code is doing, and you can ask ChatGPT also about it. So is the language easy to learn because you can use AI to learn, and with a um, uh, very broad use case, about a very broad examples of use cases. So I think Python, machine learning with Python will be a good choice in terms if you
Okay.
are going to a
Mhm.
technical career. I mean, you will be a software engineer, software developer, work like building products in the technical perspective.
Okay, I have seen some other tools on your LinkedIn profile as well regarding the designing. So I want you to tell the people some tools for the designings as well.
Ah, there's a lot of tools of design. I have a website, inventormiguel.com, with that I write the evaluations of the tools that I evaluate every day. I think that I testing two, sometimes three, four, depend on my availability. I like to play with these new tools. I'm using for helping me with presentations. I like to use Gamma, GAMMA .app. I like to use Midjourney to generate images as well. Sometimes
Mhm.
I post images that I'm creating with Midjourney. I think that these are the two main tools for video or image creation, or
Okay.
not text, not other things instead of text generation.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so my next question is, there are two different kind of people who are working in the industry. One who are not aware about the AI thing or the tech industry. They are not relevant with the tech industry, but definitely everyone wants to learn AI, right? And in future, gradually, it at the each and every field, AI will interrupt in that, right? So, what do you suggest to them that how they can start although they doesn't have any tech background?
Yeah, this I think this is the same recommendation that I did on the first questions of this sequence. Use ChatGPT as their starting point. It's like the iPhone is the most simple way to start using AI. It is made for non-technical people. Actually, I think the main revolution of OpenAI is the usability of it. So before ChatGPT to use a models like that, I need to be a software developer with a technical background to deploy a machine with the model inside and playing with it. It was very complicated. And OpenAI just made everything so simple that everyone can use. It's for everyone. It's OpenAI because of that. It's the
Yeah.
democratization of AI tools for everyone. That's the idea on the beginning of the company. So This is the best approach. Just go to ChatGPT and start practicing. It's like playing sports. Like, how is the best way to learn soccer, to learn basketball, to learn? It's okay. You can read the rules, right? Maybe you remember some of them, but you have to practice. So go
Yeah,
practice.
it gives a lot of answers.
Yeah.
How much you want, actually. Okay. So, in the context of AI research, what role do neural networks and deep learning play in pushing the boundaries of machine learning capabilities?
Pushing boundaries of what? Sorry.
Machine learning capabilities.
Okay, artificial intelligence is the broad concept of the technology, but machine learning is the way that we teach the machine what the machine should learn, and neural networks and deep learning is a way um, of a way that implement machine learning. So these concepts are connected. In that sense. So the question is, I think that we have, as I said, a new infrastructure, like what happened with cloud. So before the cloud revolution, we every company has its own servers inside the company, and then everything started to go to the cloud, to the another infrastructure. That's what's happening. So we have a new infrastructure. So we'll have a new kind of professionals that will be able to use that infrastructure to create new products. So you do not need necessarily the details of how a deep learning, a neural networks uh, works. uh, because it will be an infrastructure. It's like the developer does not need to know exactly how the cloud works. They just need to create the Python code, and then they will deploy to the server, and you don't need to manage this in your company anymore. It's on the cloud. I think that will happen with AI. It will be an infrastructure that you can just use it. You can integrate ChatGPT in your product, but you don't need to know how to exactly how the code behind ChatGPT is, what this code is doing. You can just use it like using on AWS as a host provider.
Perfect. Okay, so we talk about the AI currently or presently, what is going on. What is the future of AI?
I think that if you have it in 3 4 years or even less, everyone will have this own assistant. Everyone will be using AI every day, like we use phones every day, like we use computers every day. It will be something uh, like we will not remember on how was the life before it, like the same thing that happened with internet. I When I was born, the internet does not existed, but I don't remember exactly how is how is to live in a world without internet. It's strange. So I think that we'll have the same feeling.
That totally makes sense. So, okay. So the last point is that, like, I really appreciate that you uh, give us honor to be here. So, what do you want to say about the Pro AI think tank, which is a global AI community now?
Well, I think that I'm in a journey to bring that novelty to as much people as possible. I think it is very transformative. I can do much more because of AI, uh, and I think that everyone should have this privilege. I have the privilege to work with that, but I think it will be unfair if for example, all the developed countries, everyone on these countries using AI to boost the productivity. So United States, Europe, and in Brazil, in Africa, in India, we don't use this, so the inequity will be terrible. It's even worse than it is right now. So I think that we should think about it, and thinking in creating local AI solutions, uh, because for example, we have a Brazilian foods, kind of foods, that if you ask the Mid Journey ChatGPT to create a picture of that food, they are not able to do that, because they know how to do hamburgers, or pizza, some food that are in the American market, because the photos were mainly from that country.
Yeah, they have the data actually for that.
Exactly. And they are not, Google just released the Gemini model for American companies first. So if we don't create our local solutions, we will be again in the hands of these powerful big tech companies, mainly from Europe and US. Um, I think that's the main my main concern right now is this. So how can we cannot just ignore and not use ChatGPT. I'm recommending to use ChatGPT, but at the same time, you need to think how you will use that power to make your local community better, right? So I don't know how to answer that
Right.
question, but I think that is this is a question that we should think
I
about it.
think I think developing countries will take more time to adopt this or to accept this about AI. And it will take like maybe not 5 years, maybe 10 years, or maybe 20 years. Because as I am living here in Pakistan and we are giving the sessions, awareness sessions on AI, and if we offer something, like if some any AI company is offering any kind of software to someone who has an old school of thought, so initially they resist, right? So probably, and the same goes with other developing countries too. So I think that it will take some more time to accept this change actually.
I agree. I agree. It's a challenge
Yeah.
for.
Okay. So I want your last comment on our basically podcast or our this initiative on Pro AI think tank.
Yeah, I think it's very important have these um, think tanks with that specific niche of AI. We are creating in Brazil, for example, the Brazilian Association of AI, for example. So we just saw in Hollywood the importance of the syndicates. So we need to form communities to discuss that subject. So I think initiatives like Pro AI, it's one important way of of doing that.
Thank you so much for your positive comments. And what we are doing, we are trying to collaborate with other AI think tanks of each and every country. So we can take each and every country's experts on board with us. So the
Right.
people can aware, and like if anyone wants to know about any country, about any AI innovations or the opinions actually, what happened exactly if any country or any company is launching any software, then they launch and then they upload on the internet. But what's the opinion on that? So for that we started this podcast so we can get the opinions of the experts exactly. Okay, Mr. Miguel, thank you so much for your time. And I really, really appreciate, and I would like to also welcome you on board to be a member of Pro AI Think Tank.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And if you have any more questions about it, just follow me here on LinkedIn and get in touch.
Yeah, sure, sure. Why not? Because this is not the one and only podcast. Definitely, everything is evolving. So we will take you more time some other day on some new things. Definitely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Bye. You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye.